She noticed him wiping the edge of his sleeve against the wound on his face. Drawing closer, she moved his arm aside to examine it. At first, Egan tried to dismiss her concern. "It's nothing." "If it's nothing, it shouldn't bother you," she calmly stated. "Let me look at it." He reached up to bat away her hand, but she persisted, adding a stern eye to let him know she would eventually win this argument. The man frowned and relented. The cauterized cut did not show signs of infection, but the scab appeared to be peeling, meaning there would be a scar left in its place. She touched the furrow that ran from underneath his right eye down to where his mustache blended into his beard. "It's healing," she murmured, "but you're going to have a beauty mark when it's done." "A beauty mark," he harumphed. "I've never heard it referred to in that manner." "I can lessen its appearance." She leaned in, closer to the point where she could feel the warmth coming off his skin. The oils he used in his hair and facial hair, his breath wafted warm across her knuckles. She glanced up to meet his eyes, and for the first time realized they were a deep, dark brown color. Deep, dark, and filled with shadowed emotions. She cupped his cheek. The soft, fragrant hairs tickled her palm, but that was minor compared to the feelings tumbling over each other as they flooded her bloodstream. There was hatred, unrelenting sadness, unfathomable regret, and fear? His breathing quickened. She dropped her eyes to his mouth. She felt him clenching his jaws as he fought an inward battle. She started to say something. Instead, Egan pressed her hand to his face as he closed the gap between them. His lips touched hers, and for the briefest moment his mouth trembled against hers. Just as sudden, he broke away from her, jerking her hand away and hastened to the far side of the room. Caught within the unexpected roil of conflicting emotions, Genesee continued to stare blankly at his back. Forgive me. I swear to you, I never intended for that to happen. It was as if—" She ran over to him before he could finish his sentence. Grabbing his arm, she pulled on it until he turned around to face her, then threw her arms around his neck to plant her mouth on his again. His body literally shook in reaction. Gradually, his hands found her waist, and for a second she thought he was going to push her away when his arms wrapped around her. He held her tightly, almost possessively against him, and his kiss overwhelmed her senses. Her mind reeled as her own body tried to bathe in his warmth, in his nearness. Whether it was seconds later or minutes later, at last, Egan withdrew his mouth, but his eyes bore into hers, as if searching for some sign from her that she resented his intrusion. Genesee made certain the smile she presented him showed her true feelings. She pressed a finger to his lips. "Don't speak. Don't apologize. And by the stars, don't let go of me." Resting her head on his shoulder, she nestled her face against his neck and closed her eyes to savor their closeness. They lost track of how long they remained within each other's embrace. It wasn't until Egan loosened his embrace with a deep, and this time contented sigh, that they mutually parted. "Come, I believe it's mealtime," he whispered. Taking her hand, he led her out of the relics room. Nothing more was said of their encounter for the rest of the evening, but it didn't stop Genesee from wishing the incident wasn't a one-time occurrence.